Hey, I'm Greg Gifford, the Vice President of Search of US-based SEO agency Wikimotive. In this final lesson in the local SEO course, we're going to be talking about how to report your results to your client or your boss. In the previous lessons, we covered all of the important signals that influence local relevancy and how your business will appear in local search results. But knowing how to optimize for local is only part of the battle. You've got to know how to report your results if you want to keep your job. Whether you're reporting to a client or to your boss, it's important to know what to present and how it should be presented. There are a multitude of dashboarding tools and reporting tools available, and you can even make manual reports. But I have become a complete fanboy for Google Data Studio. The editing interface takes a bit of getting used to, but once you understand how things work, it's a piece of cake. The best part about Data Studio is that you have full control over how the report looks. You can tweak the design of the entire report down to any little detail. You're able to use various connectors, which are ways to connect to APIs to pull in data from various tools. The editing interface takes a bit of getting used to, but once you understand how things work, it's a piece of cake. The best part about Data Studio is that you have full control over how the report looks. You can tweak the design of the entire report down to any little detail. You're able to use various connectors, which are ways to connect to APIs to pull in data from various tools. Best of all, once you've got a report built, it updates automatically. You don't have to spend any time at all to prep your report. If you've got data you want to display that doesn't have a connector, you can put the data in a Google Sheet and then you can pull it into Data Studio. At my agency, we're big fans of customized reporting per client. The most important thing to understand about your local SEO report is that every business will care about different metrics, and most of them won't even really care about all of the data that SEOs tend to geek out about. The best advice that I can give you is to tie the report into business goals and, more importantly, tie it into their bottom line. Your client isn't hiring you to get them more website traffic. Your client's not hiring you to get them to rank higher. Your client is hiring you to make them more money. Like Puff Daddy said, it's all about the Benjamins. This is why I like to include a summary sheet as the first page in a monthly report. You'll typically have two scenarios. You're either talking to a business owner who doesn't understand all the details, or you're talking to a marketing person who gets it, but the owner or manager sometimes pops in and wants updates. The summary sheet is the perfect lead-in for your report. It's where you present the most important information that ties into the business's bottom line. If the person you're talking to really doesn't care about the rest, then they're happy. If someone pops in later to ask how things are going, the summary sheet is all they really need to read. So what do you show on the summary sheet? Show the important metrics: organic traffic and how it's improved, and leads and how they've improved. That's really it. You can show more if you want, but those metrics help even the biggest of noobs understand how your efforts are affecting their business. More traffic and more leads equals more sales. I like to show the monthly number and then a comparison of month over month and year over year, so short-term and long-term trends can easily be seen. It's helpful to include notes on the page as well, giving a brief outline of the things that you've done in the last month and even what you're planning in the upcoming month. Remember, most of what you're doing is behind the scenes, so being transparent about what you're doing helps your client know that you're working when they're not really seeing changes on their website. You'll want to include all of the standard SEO reporting charts as well: time on site, bounce rate, overall traffic, organic traffic, and so on. And I've got a cool trick to share with you. If you're using Data Studio or creating your own reports, you should add in a Pre-SEO line. It's a horizontal line on each chart that shows where the client was before you started working with them. Whether it's traffic or bounce rate or leads or whatever you're looking at, you take an average of the previous 12 months of data before you started and you make that your pre-SEO number for that graph. Adding in the horizontal line makes it easy to see progress, especially with seasonal spikes in data or for clients who stay with you for a longer period of time. You definitely want to include data from Google My Business Insights as well. If you're using Data Studio, just grab a GMB connector and you can pull it in automatically. Showing discovery trends and actions taken in Google My Business can really help you prove that your efforts are having a positive effect on both discoverability and engagement. Since reviews are a critical part of local SEO, you should include review information on your report as well. Again, data connectors make this easy in Data Studio, but it's not hard to pull in the info manually. At minimum, you should show review scores and total review count for Google, Facebook, and Yelp, or if you're outside of the US, whichever review site feeds Apple Maps. I don't suggest showing ranking data on an SEO report. Ranking data doesn't tie into the bottom line, so it's not important to include. I could go get any business ranked #1 for hundreds of terms in less than a week. So a ranking report would look really awesome, but they'd all be super obscure long tail phrases that no human would ever search for, so the business's traffic wouldn't increase at all. Rankings are really just a vanity metric, and you'll get clients who freak out over what's in the ranking report even if traffic has increased. Even though you point out that organic traffic is up 20% over the previous month and 75% over the previous year, and leads have doubled, they'll center in on the fact that their most important keyword has dropped 5 ranking spots. Save yourself the time and the headache and don't include ranking reports in your monthly reports. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't track rankings. You should absolutely track rankings. It's vital data for your SEO efforts. It's just not data that needs to be shared on customer reports. If a client is doing call tracking, it's helpful to include that in your report, especially if they're using a call tracking number on their GMB listing. Increased calls from GMB are a clear sign that the business is more visible in local searches. Don't be afraid to customize your reports for clients. If you've got Data Studio, it's easy. But even still, customizing a report for a client helps you tie in your report to what their goals are and what they think is important. And that keeps your clients happy and engaged. That's it for the final lesson in the local SEO module. We hope you learned something awesome. If you've got any final questions, feel free to tweet them to me directly at Greg Gifford, or to the awesome team of pros over at the SEMrush Academy at SEMrush Academy. If you've stumbled on this lesson and haven't seen the others in the local SEO course, go watch them and learn more awesome info on local search. Otherwise, you are ready to head over to the SEMrush Academy page and take the test for this course so you can get officially SEMrush certified in local SEO.